Hello, my name is Carrie Brown and I'm with the Central Mississippi Regional Library System. Today I'm going to be reading to you chapters 5, 6, and 7 of Magic Treehouse, Day of the Dragon King, written by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 5. The Scholar. "It's a book from our country," said Jack. "Your books are made of bamboo, but ours are made of paper. Actually, your country invented paper, but later, in the future." The man looked confused. "Never mind," said Annie. "It's for reading. It's for learning about faraway places." The man stared at them. Tears filled his eyes. "What's wrong?" Annie asked softly. "I love reading and learning," he said. "So do I," said Jack. The man smiled. "You don't understand. I am dressed as a farmer," he said, "but in truth, I am a scholar." "What's a scholar?" said Annie. "We are great readers, learners, and writers," he said. "We have long been the most honored citizens in China." The scholar's smile faded. "But now scholars are in danger," he said, "and many of us have gone into hiding." "Why?" said Jack. "The Dragon King is afraid of the power of our books and learning," said the scholar. "He wants people to think only what he wants them to think. Any day he may order the burning of the books." Annie gasped. "Does that mean what I think it means?" said Jack. The scholar nodded. "All the books in the Imperial Library will be burned," he said. "That's rotten," said Annie. "Indeed it is," the scholar said quietly. "Listen, we have a mission to get a book from that library," said Jack. "Who are you?" asked the scholar. "Show him," said Annie. She reached into her shirt pocket as Jack reached into his sack. They brought out the secret library cards. The letters shimmered in the sunlight. The scholar's mouth dropped open again. "You're master librarians," he said. "I have never met one so honored who were so young." He bowed to show his respect. "Thank you," said Jack and Annie. They bowed back to him. "How can I help you?" asked the scholar. "We need to go to the Imperial Library and find this book," said Jack. He held out Morgan's bamboo strip to the scholar. "We will go to the Imperial Library," said the scholar. "As for the story, I know it well. It's a true one, written not long ago. But I warn you, we will be in great danger." "We know," said Annie. The scholar smiled. "I am happy to be doing something I believe in again," said the scholar. "Let us go." They all climbed into the front of the cart. The long line of wall builders was marching in the distance. As the oxen started forward, the scholar turned to Jack and Annie. "Where are you from?" he asked. "Frog Creek, Pennsylvania," said Annie. "I have never heard of it," said the scholar. "Do they have a library there?" "Oh, sure, there's a library in every town," said Jack. "In fact, there are probably thousands of libraries in our country." "And millions of books," said Annie, "and no one burns them." "Right," said Jack. "Everyone gets to go to school and learn to read them." The scholar stared at him and shook his head. "It sounds like paradise," he said. Chapter 6. The Dragon King. The ox cart bumped across the wooden bridge that crossed over a moat. Then it passed guards standing by giant wooden gates. "Are the gates ever closed?" Jack asked. "Oh, yes, every day at sunset," said the scholar. "When the gong sounds, the gates close. The bridge comes up, and the city is sealed shut for the night." "I guess visitors have to leave before that happens," Annie said, "or they'll be stuck here for the whole night, right?" "Yes," said the scholar. The cart bumped between the city gates. Rows of small houses were bunched together on either side of the street. They were made of mud with straw roofs. People cooked over outdoor fires. They washed their clothes in wooden tubs. As the ox cart bumped along, the houses got larger. These were made of painted wood and pottery tiles. They all had curved roofs. "Why are those roofs like that?" asked Jack. "To keep away the bad spirits," said the scholar. "How do they do that?" said Annie. "The spirits can only travel in straight lines," said the scholar. "Wow," whispered Annie. The cart went by some open tea shops. Then it passed a large market square filled with stalls and shoppers. People were buying and selling fish, chickens, firewood, wagon wheels, silk, cloth, furs, and jade jewelry. Some people were lined up at a stall filled with tiny cages. "What's for sale there?" said Annie. "Crickets," the scholar said. "They make good pets. You can feed them tea leaves and enjoy their delicate song." The cart moved on toward the Dragon King's walled palace. They stopped in front of the palace gates. "Grain delivery!" the scholar shouted up to the guard at the tower. The guard waved them through. Inside were beautiful gardens and huge mounds of earth surrounded by a low brick wall. "That is the imperial burial grounds," said the scholar, pointing at the mounds. "Who is buried there?" asked Jack. "The ancestors of the Dragon King," said the scholar. "What are ancestors?" Annie asked. "They are the people in your family who lived before you," said the scholar. "Someday the Dragon King himself will be buried there. 300,000 workers have been building his burial tomb." "Oh, man," said Jack. He looked over his shoulder at the burial grounds. He wondered why it took so many workers to build a tomb. "No," said the scholar. Jack whirled around. "What's wrong?" he asked. The scholar pointed at the palace courtyard. A dark cloud of smoke was rising into the sky. "Fire!" said the scholar. "The books!" said Jack. "Hurry!" said Annie. The scholar snapped the reins. The oxen trotted up the stone path. When the cart rolled into the courtyard, soldiers were everywhere. Some threw wood on a huge bonfire. Others were carrying bamboo strips down the steep stairs that led from the palace. "Are those books?" Jack asked. "Yes, the strips are tied together into different bundles," moaned the scholar. "Each bundle is a book." "Look," said Annie, pointing to the palace entrance. Stepping outside was a man in a rich flowing robe and a tall hat. Jack knew him at once. The Dragon King. Chapter 7. The Burning of the Books. The Dragon King watched the bonfire as it blazed up toward the sky. Around the fire the air was thick and wavy. Bamboo books were stacked beside the fire waiting to be burned. "Hurry!" said the scholar. They jumped down from the cart and joined the crowd by the bonfire. The Dragon King shouted to the soldiers. They began throwing the books into the fire. The bamboo crackled as it burned. "Stop!" cried Annie. Jack grabbed her. "Quiet!" he said. Annie pulled away. "Stop!" she shouted again, but her voice was lost in the noise of the roaring fire. "There's your story," said the scholar. He pointed to a bamboo book that had fallen off a waiting stack. "I'll get it," said Annie. She dashed over to the book. "Annie!" cried Jack, but she had already snatched up the bundle of bamboo strips and was charging back to them. "Got it! Quick, put it in your sack," she said. Jack put the bundle of bamboo strips in his sack. Then he looked around fearfully. He gasped. The Dragon King was glaring at them. Then he headed their way. "Seize them!" the Dragon King shouted. "Run through the burial grounds," the scholar said to Jack and Annie. "The soldiers will be afraid to follow. The fear of the spirits of the ancestors." "Thanks," said Jack. "Thanks for everything." "Good luck," cried Annie. Then she and Jack took off. Soldiers shouted after them, an arrow whizzed by. But Jack and Annie kept running. They ran down the path to the burial grounds. They jumped over the low brick wall and ran between the huge mounds of earth. Suddenly arrows filled the air around them. The archers were shooting from the tower. "Look!" cried Jack. There was a doorway in one of the mounds. Jack and Annie ducked inside. They were in a long hall lit with oil lamps. "It's so quiet," said Annie. She walked down the passageway. "Hey, there are some steps here." "Don't go any farther," said Jack. "Why not?" said Annie. "We don't know what's down there," said Jack. "This is a burial tomb, remember? It's creepy." "Let's just take a quick look," said Annie. "Maybe it's the way out of here." Jack took a deep breath. "You might be right," he said. "Okay, but go slow." He didn't want to stumble upon a dead body. Annie started down the steep steps. Jack followed. The lamps lit their way as they kept going down and down. Finally, they reached the bottom. Jack blinked. Even though oil lamps glowed everywhere, it was hard to see at first. When Jack's eyes got used to the strange light, his heart nearly stopped. "Oh, man," he breathed. They were in a room filled with soldiers. Thousands of them. Thank you. Be sure to tune in next week for chapters 8, 9, and 10. Goodbye.